Hey everybody, Scott Samlin here for HypnoThoughts Live with another speed dating with hypnotists. The whole idea of this is just to give you guys a really quick, digestible way to understand who is presenting the workshops at HypnoThoughts Live and understand what the pre and post conference workshops options are so you can make the best decision for yourself. I'm here with a person that it's weird to call a speed dating with this person because she and I have sat next to each other at conferences for years, and it's a great friend of mine. And this is Melissa Tears. Melissa, how are you?
Awesome. Life
Yeah.
is good. Yeah,
So
definitely.
you are once again coming back to HypnoThoughts Live. Always, you fill rooms wherever we put you. People are always thrilled and excited to meet you. You're just a badass when it comes to just keeping it fun and being not self-important and making the work approachable. So what are you bringing to HypnoThoughts Live this year?
So, well, lots of fun. So I'm bringing a 2-day practitioner training in hypnopsychedelics. As you know, you and I have had many conversations. I've been developing this for many, many years. I've done the beta version of this before at HypnoThoughts. People really like it. And I've just been, gathering data and, I have my own little like student portal lab that I've just been trying and tweaking things. So this is like the form, right? So it's for people who want to, kind of ride that wave that's happening right now. It is mainly about how can we get the same types of effects, the same kind of transformative trance experiences that people are having in therapeutic psychedelic sessions without the drugs. So there's really a few parts to this. One is, how can we take people that maybe have had psychedelic experiences, but really haven't integrated that learning into their everyday life? Too often, because I've interviewed hundreds of people just to get inside their head and codify their experiences so I could, model it and put it together and teach it to others. And so often it's compartmentalized. It's like I had this transformative, all-knowing, I understood my place in the universe. Life had, meaning. And then they go back to their job and, tell off their employees and, yell at their kids, So one part is how do we integrate those past experiences in a way that infuses everyday existence with that kind of transformative headspace. The other is how do we mimic, right? So it used to be when I first started, right? How do we get the cool effects, right? The psychedelic,
the phenomena stuff,
right? The phenomena. But really, that's not what transforms people. I mean, maybe it gives them a glimpse, like it did me, growing up, of the malleability of mind, of just how much our brain is in charge of perceptual filters and, so it's cool to play with, and maybe for that, but really what transforms people is this feeling of, in all of the psychedelic research, they call it this oceanic boundlessness, right? Where you transcend just your kind of self space and open up to a broader state of consciousness. Now, we're in this perfect position as hypnotists to be able to play with different degrees of trances. You know me, I've always loved the broad spectrum, not just the uptime trance and drooling trance. There's this huge variety, right? Trance states that we want to utilize and play with. And so, hypnopsychedelics is kind of my take on this. I always say when people ask for an origin story that, I could go back to, age 3 and spinning and my obsession with altered states and hyperventilation, even as a very young child. But really, I go to one particular psilocybin trip when I was about 18 with my band in Central Park, where I had this moment, and the best way to describe it is just a moment of understanding. my place in the universe, the interconnectedness. And I'm a pretty I was a staunch atheist at the time. So this was really something other than what I was used to feeling and thinking. And to me, I felt like I understood everything in that moment, right? How the grass was connected to the tree, how everything. And then it was gone. And I spent the rest of my freaking life trying to get back what it was that I understood in that moment. Literally, that's when I started studying consciousness. That's when I started studying altered states. When I couldn't find it there, I started studying the brain. When I couldn't find it there, I started playing with my own headspace and going to the Monroe Institute and the Noetic Science of Consciousness. And that's why I took my first hypnosis class.
Right.
Because I was trying to get it back.
Yeah, chasing and trying to reconnect with that experience. And I think we've all heard that kind of thing from other people, like a podcast or, whatever it is, where you hear people talking about whether it be resolving trauma using psychedelics, or like you said, even if it's not that dramatic.
I mean, you name it.
Yeah, there's just this sense, like you said, the oceanic concept, where it's getting out of like this ego state sense of self and getting like this sort of meta perspective on, I'll call it existence, sort of round up to that. And to have that in a way that is like, to learn how to do all the psychedelic stuff, that's a lot of homework. But for all of our population, our people, they already know hypnosis. And so
they know how to tweak trances. They know how to expand, go, deductive, inductive, using language that helps to promote integration.
Right.
Also, it's like we know that there's certain psychedelic properties that we make ourselves, right? And that our brain has the ability, right? We have the same receptors and we use it for different neurochemistry. But one of the key things is it seems to shake up habituated neural patterning. And every one of our clients that comes to us pretty much has habituated unconscious patterns at play, which is unconscious patterns in the brain. So to have the ability to just shake it loose and let it, and then not just shake it loose, like a lot of psychedelics will do, but directionalize the landing. That's what we can do that just someone taking a trip can't do. It's random. It's just how it works, but if we can shape the landing.
The skilled facilitation.
Yes. And then not just shape the landing, but make sure that we're shaping the landing so that it gets hooked into the problem neural network that they came to us for.
Right.
And that is the artistry.
Yes.
That is how you can, like, it becomes much more than just, ooh, I can revivify a psychedelic state and feel like I'm tripping once again. We all know how to do that. Almost every hypnotist can, make people feel what they felt like when they took, this drug or.
Yeah, you can take a stage hypnosis class and, get people to be drunk off a glass of water or whatever it is.
Right.
But it's this utilization that you're talking about. I love this.
Key. That's where it becomes something that we can make sure is really wired into the areas in their life where they need it to be. We're not saying that they're going to walk around feeling one with the universe all the fucking time. We're just, what we're doing is we're utilizing this big, expansive resource state.
Right.
To collapse, really to neutralize some of the triggering moments in people's lives. I don't know. Has it been 15 minutes?
Yeah, we're right at that. How easy is this? This is speed dating. Like,
I like it. I was going to say, I like romantic walks on the beach.
This is important information as well for all the attendees to know. So everybody watching this, I mean, Melissa and I, like I said,
that's the pre-conference,
Oh, yeah. Of course.
Other things during the conference as well. But I'm sorry, what were you going to say?
I was going to say, like, you and I have been to so many conferences together, and we've watched each other work. We've watched each other like hang out and talk to, hypnotists from varying backgrounds or areas of expertise or experience, and just I know that you are committed to making sure that your students can take this work with them. You're committed to making sure that this isn't just theory. I mean, of course, there is
No, no,
a
no. I mean,
solid
right from the
theoretical
jump, right
framework.
from the first hour, they're
Yes.
playing, they're practicing. You know me, I don't do those types of lectures. Even when I have a 1 hour thing, I'm going to be like, here's the thing. Let me show you the thing. Now get together and do the thing. Because once you do it, you walk away with something. You hear it, maybe not so much. Maybe you play, maybe you don't. So, you know, I've been teaching this stuff for like 25 years or something, you know, so I know how people learn. And so, you know, so it's a big part of it. You know, if it's not useful, you know, I still go to all these workshops. I still take all these trainings. I still go even travel to take, you know, 8-day trainings, even just this year, you know, so I'm always learning. And when I sit in to listen to the lectures, and, you know, at this point, you know, HypnoThoughts Live is really the only conference I go to every year. It's the one that's the most fun for me. I get to see all my friends, but it has just a caliber of trainers that I like to learn from. So if I can get something tangible, even just a little toy that I can then, you know, play with and take it apart and put it together with this and do this, then I'm happy. You know, sometimes it's you know, just a shift in perspective on what I've already been doing, but hadn't thought of it that way, that I love, you know, that I can then play with. But anyway, yeah, you know, I like to get people playing.
Exactly. And so to those of you who are watching, if you just heard this and you're like, okay, I got to learn more, this sounds super interesting. If you go to htlive.net, we have a link there for the pre and post conference workshops. You click on that, you'll see the whole schedule of all our presentations.
Yeah,
and you can see more information right there about this workshop and about Melissa. So if you've been living under a rock and don't know who she is, because she's been at, have you been at every HypnoThoughts Live? I think you have.
Except for one during, you know, COVID.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I didn't go to that one either. I ran online on that one. Yeah, I mean, you've been coming for the whole time.
Maybe I did something online for you that year, but I mean, I
probably
pretty
did,
much
and
every single one from the first one, you and I were hanging out. Yeah.
You've been a tremendous supporter, and it has and continues. I really mean this. It means the world to me that you've been a supporter of what we've been doing. It's awesome. To those of you guys who are checking this out, go to htlive.net, check out Melissa's stuff, register for her class because it sells out. It's going to be fantastic. And we'll see you on the next one. Bye, everybody.
Thanks for the speed date.
Yeah.